Welcome to One Love Spirit Center's live stream, where we are a radically inclusive faith-based community centered in love. We strive to create a space of grace, compassion, and healing just for you. I am Elle Parker, Vice President on the Board of the Directors, and we want you to know that you are welcome, accepted, appreciated, and loved. One love.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and is mine. I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. I am cloaked in the Spirit, I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is, my soul is free from time. I am blessed and so are you, and don't it feel good to know? Just to know that my soul is free from time, and all I got to do is change my mind. I'm free, y'all. Don't it feel good? All the well and unfolding as it should.
Thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr. And everybody, welcome to our Sunday Morning Connection live stream. So glad you're here. This song here goes along great with our series right now. How much of my mother has my mother left in me? How much of my love will be insane to some degree? What about this feeling that I'm never good enough? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? How much of my father am I destined to become? Will I dim this light inside me just to satisfy someone? Will I let this woman kill me or do away with jealous love? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? I can feel the love I want, I can feel the love I need, but it's never gonna come the way I am. Could I change it if I wanted? Could I rise above the flood? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? How much like my brothers do my brothers want to be? Does a broken home become another broken family? Or will we be there for each other like nobody ever could? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? See, I can feel the love I want, I can feel the love I need, but it's never gonna come the way I am. Could I change it if I wanted? Could I rise above the flood? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? Oh yeah. I can feel the love I want, I can feel the love I need, but it's never gonna come the way I am. Yeah, could I change it if I wanted? Could I rise above the flood? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? Oh, oh, oh. Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? Is it nature, or is it nurture? Can I change it if I want to? Can I rise above the flood? We're going to talk about that today. But right after this song here. Hopefully this song encourages you like it does me every time I hear it. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. Oh, yeah. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, and when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. Yes, I will. I'll take your part. Oh, when the dark night comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over trouble to live based on the conditions of the time. So when we talk about awakening, in order for us to awaken to the reality of who we really are, our deeper self, so often we have to take a look at some of the hard things. We have to ask ourselves really hard questions. And some of those questions are hard to answer because we don't want to even look at them. We don't want to look at the possibility that I may need to adjust my thinking about those deep things. And so right now we're in the series Vision 2.0 for the summer leading into the fall, and for the month of September, we're looking at awake to awakening. Awake to awakening. And a lot of times when we let go of beliefs, it's like a death in the family. It's like a death within our own self. We believe a whole lot, but we know very little, and most of what we do in our life, our response, our action and reaction to other people, to other circumstances and situations, are based on what we believe, not what we know. We spend most of our life acting and reacting to the world around us based on what we believe, not what we know. We're seeing a lot of that reaction in the world now around the vaccine, because it got politicized, because one authoritative figure said it's okay and another authoritative figure said it's not okay. And, because there's an allegiance to a particular belief system, there's a struggle with trusting each other. Most of us don't trust our own self. And that's why we lean to the externals. This is why Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you, and Nicodemus, you must be born again so that you can see it. Most of us don't trust our own self. We would rather have someone else tell us what to do. This is why religion thrives. This is why politics thrives. This is why the movie business and the entertainment business thrives, because we would almost rather be asleep, because in our sleep state, we're only responsible for so much. When we awaken, now we become responsible for looking at everything as it is and deciding what I'll do with it. And so many of us don't want to carry that responsibility. That's why I've said before, so many people would rather worship Jesus than follow Jesus, because it's easier to worship than it is to follow. Jesus says specifically, take up your cross and follow me. Nobody's lining up to do that. We will quote what we believe Jesus was saying, or we'll quote the Bible. In fact, in Christianity, and I know it seems like I have a bone to pick with Christianity, but as a 27-year ordained Christian minister, technically, I think I have a right to at least stand on the fringes and constructively criticize my own religious expression. And I'll stand right here, or sit right here and say that the main reason that Christianity keeps people asleep is because it's good for business. If you can keep people believing they have to come back for more, not only will they come back and fill our auditoriums, but they'll also fill up the offering plate. One of the things that I think we've struggled with, I was talking to a minister friend who leans more toward New Thought now. He's definitely had his own deconstruction. He's gone through the process of waking up. And as he's gone through the process of waking up, of course, he's brought his church along with him. And as a result, there's no guilt anymore. He doesn't preach guilt. He doesn't preach fear anymore. And as a result, it's affected their offerings. Their budget, he said their budget is half of what it was. Now people don't feel guilty, so they don't give. So I understand why some of my preacher friends who will say to me in private, I believe what you say is true, but I can't tell them that. Because the healthcare system needs people to be sick. I posted this just a couple of days ago on Facebook. The healthcare system needs people to be sick for it to thrive. And the religious system needs people to be sinners for it to thrive. Essentially, we need people to stay asleep, we think, in order for us to thrive. The systems of the world don't want us to wake up, because when you wake up, you start to realize who you really are. When you realize who you really are, now you're responsible for not buying into the system, but actually changing the system. The only people who have ever made any actual changes in the world were people who woke up and said, I don't have to do it that way anymore. And they chose not to. They created a new pathway. Abraham Lincoln was woke in his time, for his time. And he said the slavery thing's not working. He said it's not even good for our economy. At the end of the day, it's actually not good for our economy. If you free these folks, they can go and they can work, they can be free, they can pay taxes, it increases our economy. They're only helping individuals who own slaves. He wasn't just doing it because he had an awakened consciousness. He was doing it because he saw that the systems actually weren't working. It wasn't better for the country for people to be enslaved. And so he said, well, let's free them. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was woke for his time, and he shared the dream. The dream that he had in his sleep state only became a reality when he woke up and put feet on the dream. We've been dreaming a whole lot, and we've been thinking a whole lot, and we've been believing a whole lot. My question is, have we decided to put legs on the dream? To put legs on the belief that I deserve to live a life of abundance and prosperity and freedom and wholeness, and that I don't have to go around sick, and I don't have to crawl to church every week to be beat up just a little more, to be given. It's almost like we come into church, we get beat up, and then they give us a little bit of Tylenol to take some of the edge off so that you'll, about Tuesday or Wednesday, it'll start to wear off and the fever will go up again, and now you got to come back and get some more medication. What am I saying? I'm saying that our message should be a message of freedom. And do I know that ultimately, for at least a season, will cause people to leave? Some people will come grasp this message and then never come back to another live stream, never come to church again, never give an offering again. I know that I run a risk of that, but a true leader believes that they will work themselves out of a job. A true leader knows that they're supposed to raise people up to take their job. A true leader and somebody who is awake is not worried about the systems of our world and whether it's going to support them or not. I will not try to keep people sick so that people will give in the offering. Do I know that runs a risk, and it means that I need to go into the world and probably figure out another way to get money to support me as a minister in order for me to be able to thrive in that sense? Yeah, I know that that's a possibility, but guess what? I cannot, with a good conscience, preach a system of beliefs that keeps people asleep, that uses guilt and fear to make people sick so that people will not wake up to the reality of who they are. I won't do it. So, what are we talking about when we're saying awake to awakening? Well, in order to get to new life, it seems as if we have to walk through the door of death. But see, death is not a big deal when you know you're an eternal being. We talked about this on Wednesday night. It was perfect. In fact, I'll read it back to us because I still have the Tao Te Ching right here. Verse 74, I believe, is where we were at. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing that you will try to hold on to. All things change. Belief systems change. Religions change. Religious people sometimes don't seem like they do, but they're changing. In some way, they're changing. Some people are not living. They're so asleep that their body's just growing old and they don't get a chance. I don't want to just be older. I want to be wiser. Some people just grow older and not wiser. Scripture here says there is nothing that you'll try to hold on to when you know that everything changes. If you aren't afraid of dying, there's nothing you can't achieve. When you get to the place where you know, as St. Paul said, the last enemy that you'll face is death, but death is swallowed up in victory. So that in the end you can say, death, where is your sting? Grave, where is your victory? I have already died and risen from the dead within. What difference does it make if this body gets unzipped and passed away somewhere? I know that the letter matters more than the envelope, and so the envelope will get laid to rest, and the letter will just be returned to sender so that they can put a PS on it, and I can work through the rest of eternity. When you know this, you're awake to that. Now the systems don't matter as much anymore. I don't have to work within the framework of a system that's broken. In fact, we get a chance to recreate the system. But let's look back over a few things that I posted up. These were the 7 faces and phases of awakening. And this is just kind of a review because this weekend, we hosted yesterday our in-person service, our in-person gathering and fellowship in Decatur, Georgia. And then I'm in service today also with Spirit and Truth Sanctuary, which, by the way, that information, we'll share that link for you to have that information. But let's look at the 7 faces and or phases of awakening. Taking the elements of what's been created to create what I want in this life. I believe that the ultimate has given to us the ingredients. Now we decide the elements or the ingredients to create the life I want, moving from mediocrity to creativity. Moving from mediocrity to creativity. Real quick here. And I don't want to exhaust this too much, but creativity is about really imagination. If you can image it, you can produce it in the world. It's like a Polaroid. Snap the photograph and you get to see the image. But remember this, an image is always static, okay? It's not alive. It's always static. So utilize the image simply to create what you really want. And I remember one time I was gonna bake a cake and I had so many different options. I didn't have to bake a chocolate pound cake